We've invited some of today's hottest style influencers and industry experts to join us for a casual conversation about beauty, relationships, lifestyle, and everything that inspires us as we get close up and personal.
Lisa D'Amato is today's special guest on Close Up and Personal. Did you ever think you'd get to this?
Actually, yes. Here's the thing, like, I definitely always knew that I had the talent and the drive. I mean, I'm obviously not the prettiest girl in the world, and I may not be, you know, the richest or come from money or come with the given, you know, famous last name or anything. So I knew that being raised in Hollywood, that all the odds were against me because I came from a very, like, abusive childhood. So that in itself plays a huge role on your heart, and you can kind of be like a victim to your past.
Right.
And then also being very poor, and seeing the way things go, like everyone has stage parents and everyone's got money to throw for photo shoots and get the best of the best to work on whoever. I knew that I didn't have any of that. So all odds were 100% against me.
But you didn't let that stop you, though.
Absolutely.
See?
There's something that my dad always said to me, and I remember saying that I wanted to be in the entertainment industry, and I told my dad, and he was always a grip too, so he always worked like crazy hours. And he looked at me like he felt really bad, like, oh. You know, I thought it was going to be like words of encouragement, like, oh, well, you're talented, and you could do this. And he just said, okay, well, Lisa, let me tell you something. If you want anything at all, you have to work 10 times harder than the normal person because we have a bad cloud over our head, and it's just, we aren't lucky. So that always sticked in my head. So no matter what you're doing or my competition over there or whatever, I'm going to do 10 times harder the prep work, and I'm going to work that much harder.
It's motivation.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't realize, you know, to do things like this, there is no off time. You're always
thinking.
You're always thinking.
Conceiving of ideas and everything.
I mean, I'm
There's
sure,
no vacation.
Andrea, like late at night, you're like, oh my God, I should do this video idea.
That's why I don't sleep.
I should probably.
All that
I don't sleep either. They say that's a big problem with us, or celebrities in general, or people who work really hard and are successful because they are so driven. They can't sleep because they can't turn off. You're at a 10, you know, when you're on camera, and then all of a sudden you have to get up the next morning at like 7 a.m. and you're just supposed to go to bed. Like, I've always had sleeping anxiety, and it's like, I get it now. I totally get it now. I used to be pissed off about it, but I'm like, oh, it was the message that he sent from up above. I'm supposed to sleep when I'm dead. I get it.
I love like your whole story about, you know, coming up from a rough upbringing and just really having the world against you from you know, the get-go.
From day one,
From day one. I hate to say it like that, but you know, we followed you, and we know about, you know, your past and where you came from, and I love where you're going. And can you talk to us a little bit about your charity for, you know, Free Hearts?
Well, luckily, I went to celeb rehab, and I didn't go on there necessarily because I was detoxing from anything, but I drank on season 5 of Top Model, so it made me a good candidate. I got all this therapy and learned about addiction in general, which was great. So I just basically have like the inside scoop and the information on addiction, which is awesome. With all that, I got a ton of therapy from all my childhood trauma, you know, from sexual, mental, and physical abuse. And I was lucky enough to reach out to an organization called freearts.org. Freearts.org is a Los Angeles-based organization that basically you go there and it's volunteer work, and you can paint with them, or you can teach them how to dance, or you can teach them how to act.
Is that in Los
Or
Angeles?
we should go. We should try it out. Yeah.
We should do that.
Yeah, it's incredible. You have to go through a whole training process, obviously.
Screening process.
They have to
Make sure you're not.
Yeah.
What if they don't accept me? I'd be so upset.
Well, like, do you have something funky on your like records?
No, just a bunch of extensions. Extensions, yeah.
They're okay with extensions.
All right. You know.
So it's beautiful, and I try to always bring awareness to it. You know, a lot of people, they reach out to me and they go, you know, they're inspired by like my story, and they're probably, or could be going through that right now, like getting abused at home or whatever. And you know, the one thing that they always say is, I don't have insurance, which is very common in our country, obviously. I can't afford therapy. Like, what do I do to kind of flip the game, you know, on my life? And I go, the best therapy anyone can ever have is charity. Because it makes you reflect on your own life, and you're giving back. So if you have no money and you need therapy and you need help to kind of get through this huge hump in your life that's probably incredibly negative and you're kind of drowning in it, charity.
Right. I think if you send good stuff into the world, you help people, you know, without thinking of anything in return, it's gonna come back to you.
It pays back. It always pays back.
Always.
Karma. You know, people always use the word karma like if it's a bad thing, like, oh, you did something bad, karma's gonna get you. It works both ways.
Yep.
Karma comes, if you do great things, it'll come back your way also.